Monday, our team from the NFL Today and NFL Today Plus is out in Green Bay for the season opener for the Lions and Packers. And all eyes, of course, are on Micah Parsons and his back injury. Whether or not he'll even play, Tracy Wolfson has the latest from Green Bay.
Well, we all know the big storyline here in Green Bay, the arrival of Micah Parsons. Will he or won't he play? How much will he play? I can tell you he will play in some limited fashion. How many snaps remains to be seen. We were told that decision is made by the Packers Performance Group. Now, we know that Parsons is dealing with some sort of back injury. He has not played in 6 months. It's a long season, and they do have a short week because they have a game on Thursday. Micah Parsons telling us he knows the defense. He's ready to get out there, but he also respects the decision that the performance group comes up with. Now, I talked to Micah Parsons. He was wreaking havoc at practice, watching him out there on Friday, and I can tell you, he said he feels so comfortable already in Green Bay, chatting it up with his teammates. He said this town is all about ball. As for the Detroit Lions, they get their pass rusher back, Aiden Hutchinson, back from that broken leg. He said he's 100% healthy, and he is just raring and ready to go and get back out there to play. He did not play in the preseason at all, but he did wreak havoc throughout the preseason in camp. So he's ready to get back out there. The Detroit Lions, 2 new coordinators. Ben Johnson went to Chicago. Aaron Glenn left for the Jets. John Morton takes over on the offensive side. Kelvin Shepard calling plays on the defensive side for the first time. And another big question mark is the inside of that interior offensive line. 2 new guards and a new center when it comes to Graham Glasgow. Frank Ragnow retired, so certainly something to watch. And one injury to report on the Green Bay Packers side. Cornerback Nate Hobbs still dealing with that knee injury. How much or if he will play remains to be seen.
Thank you, Tracy. We are just one sleep away from NFL Sunday. We have a full slate over on CBS. The headliner in the early window, Steelers at Jets. And then the game of the week. You can see Tracy, Jim, and Tony on the call for
Week 1 is here. Jeremy Fowler is here. The question is, will Christian McCaffrey be there for the 49ers on Sunday ahead of the 49ers game against Seattle? What's the latest, J-Bone?
The latest is Christian McCaffrey wants to play on his calf injury. He's feeling fine. He says he's good to go. It's more of an injury prevention thing. However, Kyle Shanahan has not committed to playing McCaffrey. He's listed as questionable, so this could shape up to be one of those game time decisions. Just considering his past, how things went early last season on that calf, they want to take it slowly with him, so he was limited Thursday. An issue popped up, sort of flared up Friday. He did some stretching, some light running, but ultimately did not practice. And so this is a situation where the 49ers are putting a lot of their hopes on McCaffrey because they love the way he plays. He's going to be great when he's out there, but they don't want to have another setback. So we'll see how it goes. They'll monitor it throughout the weekend. They have Brian Robinson Jr., who they traded for recently. They feel good about. They like their depth, but they want CMC back in the line.
You give this guy the benefit of the doubt because of who he is, but those injuries amounted to him missing 13 games last season. Lots of injury questions and concerns heading into Week 1. How much fun can Micah Parsons get in his Packers debut?
Well, he wants to play, and the Packers want to get him in there. They're trying to be cautious of him because he had that back issue. My sense, asking around early in the week, is that they were leaning on some sort of pitch count, not throwing him out there for 60 snaps because he's been out throughout the entire preseason. Although I was told when he was in Dallas, he was going through 2-a-days on his own. He was running, he was lifting, he was in all the walkthroughs. So he's been engaged. He's not coming in totally cold. My sense is they'll find a way to get him out there. Myles Garrett, good to go. Had a bit of a hip issue flare-up, some discomfort, missed a practice day, but he is good to go. No injury designation. The Browns feel like that they can try to handle the Bengals a little bit, who are trying to get off to a hot start this year on offense. And then you got Cam Hayward. This one's tricky. It's more of a contract issue, but he is not committed publicly to playing in this game. Got some rest earlier in the practice week. It's a situation where contract negotiations on an extension did not go well last summer. Hayward said, hey, if I make All-Pro in 2024, I'm coming back to you for some extra money. The Steelers have not obliged yet, so they're trying to talk through this and find a solution. Maybe they can add a couple $1 million to his contract. He's due about $13 million this year. Mike Tomlin says he's playing. Cam Hayward has sort of said not so fast. Okay, 15th season in the league, all 15 with the Steelers. That's Jeremy Fowler with the latest on SportsCenter. Thank you. And it was shocking to some as Jeremy Fowler joins the program. KC suffering a loss, both in the win-loss column and then a loss, a big one offensively. Xavier Worthy leaving on the third offensive play from scrimmage last night.
with a shoulder injury. When will the Chiefs learn more about the extent of the injury?
Gee, it should be sometime today. He's going to get an MRI when he returns to Kansas City with the rest of the team. The problem is Sao Paulo, as you know, is about a 10-hour flight to the Midwest area. So it could be later today. It's going to be a long flight because they're going to be awaiting word, hoping for good news on the Worthy front. He is a big part of their plans. He would have got a ton of targets last night. Tricky part is he was ruled out of the game pretty shortly after he was questionable, which is usually not a good sign. His body language there is not ideal. So they're hoping for the best. You know, look, this is a team that for years has tried to get their plan going with their three top receivers, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy. They all seem to be hurt at different times.
Yeah, Rashee Rice, of course, with that 6-game suspension. Now up in the air with Xavier Worthy's health. We'll know more when they get back to KC. Another week 1 injury concern. Christian McCaffrey was not on the injured list this week up until late. What's the extent with his calf now that you're hearing?
Yeah, gee, this one's murky. McCaffrey says he's good. He told reporters, hey, I feel great. I want to play. I plan to play. It's entirely not up to him, though. It will be up to Kyle Shanahan, who told reporters yesterday, I'm not getting into it. It's a questionable concern. Something came up during Thursday's practice. So how this went this week was he was a full participant Wednesday, but then limited Thursday. Didn't practice Friday, though. He did some stretching and some running around. So this seems to be shaping up to be one of those game time decisions, although McCaffrey is pushing to play. But given his injury history, 49ers are trying to be cautious with him.
Yeah, McCaffrey says he's okay. I mean, I can say I'm taller than you. I can say it.
Your personality
doesn't mean it's true. Thursday, the season opener, appreciate that. Jalen Carter kicked out 6 seconds into this game. The Spitsident. What could be the fallout here extensively with Carter?
Well, the fallout could be a fine or a suspension. That's what the league is weighing right now. That's their option as they look at this play under review. So they've got all the angles, the all-22 film. There's not much to see, really. That's the issue. He's the main culprit there, of course. But, you know, Dak Prescott was in the play. They're going to examine his role as well. But, you know, Carter is up for some sort of discipline. The expectation from some people I've asked around the league is that he'll probably get a fine more than a suspension because he really served a suspension last game. He didn't play the entire one. So we'll see. And you saw how important Jalen Carter is. So the Eagles are awaiting word from the league. Nothing has come down yet. They are hopeful that he will be in the lineup next week.
And maybe the in-house talking to weighs even more heavily than what the league can do after you hear Lane Johnson and Jalen Hurts talk about the incident. And like I was saying, I can say that I'm taller than Jeremy Fowler, but I'd literally just be lying. He's a beast in the paint. He's also going to be back talking about week 1 injury concerns. Jeremy Fowler, going to see him a little bit.
Injury report season is in full swing. Eves, fully healthy. Micah Parsons, though, questionable for the Packers, who's been limited. And according to head coach Matt LaFleur, he's also looked limited in practice all week with a back injury. The talk is that he will require an injection if he's going to play against the Lions. Clearly TBD, and somewhere David Lloyd is still cackling.
Questionable. That's the official designation for Christian McCaffrey ahead of the Niners season opener against Seattle. A calf issue that popped up during Thursday's workout prevented McCaffrey from practicing Friday. Now, he played just 4 games last year due to tendonitis and then a torn ligament in his right knee. But he says he fully expects to be in uniform Sunday.
Nothing serious, I'll tell you that. No, I feel great about where I'm at. Just unfortunately, when you have an injury history that I have, you know, sometimes when you don't practice, things get